Hi everyone, Allison Connors here, functional medicine health coach and certified brain health trainer with Kemper Cognitive Wellness. I'm here today to give you a little demonstration of a mini brain boot camp class. So for those of you who are not familiar with brain boot camp, in brain boot camp we combine cognitive techniques with potentially familiar exercises that can target one or more of the cognitive domains, such as our memory, our processing speed, our attention, and our executive function. Now, our executive function skills are things like decision making, organizing, problem solving, reasoning, and our working memory. Now, research shows that when we combine mental and physical activities 1 to 2 times a week for about a 6-month period, it's been shown through neuroimaging studies to increase activity in the brain, specifically in the areas of organization, decision-making, planning, and memory. So our brain boot camp runs for 6 weeks. We meet once a week, and the session lasts 45 minutes. We begin the session with a warm-up and a cool down, and we have approximately between 4 and 6 exercises that we do during that time period. Keep in mind, each exercise can have many variations. So depending on the class and the physical ability, I may gauge which variations we'll do during that class and how many activities and exercises we can fit in during that time. So let's begin our warm-up. We're going to stand feet apart and we're going to start warming up our neck. So I'll have you looking right and left. Now keep in mind we're mirroring each other, so my right is your left. So I may be saying right and left. You go according to your right and left. You don't have to follow me exactly. So hands down or on your hips and look right and left and right and left. And keep going. And one more. And now we're going to tilt our head right and left. So ear to shoulder, right and left. Keep in mind you want to do this slowly. You don't want to force anything or rush through it. Couple more. And then we're going to look up and down. So look up and down, up and down. Going slowly and gently. 2 more. And now let's start warming up the shoulders. Roll them back, roll them back. And let's roll them forward. And now let's shrug our shoulders up to our ears. Shrug and down, shrug and down. A few more. And now I'd like you to lace your fingers behind your back and give a little pull. Pull your shoulder blades together as if you're trying to squeeze a grape with your shoulder blades. So your chest is lifted. And don't pay attention, my green paper just fell, but that's fine. We're going to pull our shoulder blades together. And we're going to keep our chin level and our head back. We want to make sure we're in alignment. Now, when you let go of your hands, try not to release your shoulders. Keep your shoulders pulled back, your chest lifted, and your chin up. Okay, and turn forward, keeping this position. We want to be aware of our body alignment throughout the day. When we're exercising, when we're sitting, we're walking, standing, just take notice. Are your shoulders back? Is your chest lifted? Is your chin level? Oftentimes we are leaning forward looking at our smartphones, our laptops, and as we age, gravity tends to pull us forward and we get the rounded shoulders. So we want to make that correction during the day and be aware of our alignment. Shoulders line up with hips, ears line up with shoulders, so our head is not prone forward or tilting back. Okay, so now we're going to start warming up our lower body, and we're going to put our hands on our hips and rotate. Some of you may have used the hula hoop when you were younger. I know I did. And this is the same motion, just not as fast. And go the other way. This helps warm up our hips and our lower back. Okay, now feet a little bit further apart, just a little bit, toes out. We're going to start lunging side to side. You're doing great, okay? Take it at your own pace, no need to rush. Now we're going to reach our hands out. So we're going to reach, reach, stretch. You want a nice stretch. You don't want to take your back with it. You just want to stretch your arm out. There you go. And now we're going to stretch up overhead because we want to get our heart rate up and that oxygen flowing to our heart and our brain. This is what we want to achieve while we're doing our mental tasks. This is going to help build our neurons. And across again. And if you can't lift your arms overhead due to some shoulder issues, feel free to keep them down lower. There you go. Okay, now let's start marching in place. Getting those legs warmed up. All right, march, pump your arms. Now lift your knees and lift, 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 and lift where it's comfortable for you. Great job. Now push your arms up over your head if that's comfortable. Up, up. If you need support, you can always use a chair for balance. And arms come down to hips, keep lifting. Great. Now we're going to step out so we can loosen up our hip muscles. Out. There you go. Excellent. Like you're drawing a half circle with your toe. Point your toe down. Flexing your muscles, keeping them tight and controlled in your movement. There you go. Okay, now step out. We're going to start warming up our ankles and our feet. So you can keep your hands on your hips. We're going to point our toe and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. 2 more. That's awesome. Now we're going to rotate our ankles. And go the other way. And switch feet. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. 2 more. And rotate your ankle. Again, if you need a chair for support, you can have that next to you. And let's go the other way, warming up our ankles. And feet down. Let's shake out our arms, shake out our legs, get that blood flowing. Okay, so our first exercise that we're going to start with is based on the clock. So imagine I'm standing in the center of a clock. In front of me would be number 12. To my right, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 6 being behind me, 9 being straight out to my left side, and then we go all the way back up to 12. So what I would do is give you the option of a movement. You could tap, you could lunge, you could hop, or jump to the number. Most people prefer to tap. You could also step to it. So say, for example, if I called out number 12, we would step to 12 and step back to center. Or number 3, step to 3, step to center. So I will be calling out numbers, and you will be tapping, lunging, whichever movement you choose to that number. Now, in class, I don't normally do the moves with you. I demonstrate for you, and then I have you do the task, and I give the directions either verbally or visually. So we mix things up. You're not relying on me to figure out what move is next. That's where we're different from a regular exercise class. So I'm giving you the direction without doing the move. So you have to rely on your own brain power and thought process to know what move is next. Okay, so for this sake, I will do the move first while I'm calling out the direction, just to give you the idea. So here we go. We're going to tap to 12, and then tap to 3. Let's tap to 6. Let's tap to 9. Notice I switched feet, and we can tap to 12 again. Now, if I was giving direction to you and I will not be doing the move, I may give you a sequence of numbers. For example, I could give you 3 numbers, 1, 4, and 7. So I would tap where 1 would be, where 4 would be, and where 7 would be. Now we could get faster doing this. Before you finish the first stream, I could start the next stream of numbers, and so on. I could go to 4 numbers. So for example, 2, 5, 8, 11. 2, 5, 8, 11. Now we could get going with this stream of numbers and start to get our heart rate up. So that's an example of what the clock exercise would look like. Another exercise we base on the clock is the calendar months. So 12 being in front of you, just like the clock, 12 would be what month? That would be December. 1 would be January, 2 February, 3 March, 4 April, 5 May, and 6 June, and so on. So it's the clock, but we're doing the calendar months. So this is where we're different. I could be calling out the months. So this time we could still tap. We could do March, December, June, August, September. And I could give you a stream of calendar months to do as well. So we could do December, June, August, May. And I could continue that stream before you finish the first stream. So you have to remember the directions I'm giving you. Now we can also combine those two, where I'm giving you a month and possibly a number. For example, I could say June, September, 3. So that would be June, September, 3. Or we could do January 5, 7 November. That would be January 5, 7 November. So you can see how we can mix those up and make it a little more challenging. So that's the calendar and the clock. Now next, what we can do, you may notice the colored dots on the floor. This is for our balancing exercise. So I have colored dots for everybody. So if we're in person, I have the dots for you. But if we're doing a Zoom Brain Boot Camp, I would let you know ahead of time to have some colored Post-its or colored pieces of paper like the ones I have on the wall. And then you could place those on the floor so you have your own color visual. So what we do for the balancing act, the balancing task, not act, but the balancing task, is we put our hands on our hips. Now ideally, you float your foot off the floor, but if you have trouble balancing, you can kiss the floor with the top of your toes. So kind of using that to balance you. Now I will be calling out the colors and we'll do one at a time. And then I'll build from there, calling out 2, 3, and 4 colors at a time. And this can be a real challenge for some people, especially balancing. So if I was to call out blue and yellow, I would go to blue and yellow and back to center. Now if I was to do green and red, we would do green and red. Now what if I was to do all 4? If I was to do yellow, blue, red, green. So I would do yellow, blue, red, green. That's a challenging move right there. And then we switch feet. So we give our other side the equal opportunity of developing our balance. So that would be our balance exercise. Now next, what we can do, I'm going to remove a couple of these dots, and these stick to the floor. So we have 2 dots here, and this is going to be a sequencing task. So I'm going to be giving you directions of left and right. And remember, keep in mind, we are mirroring each other, so my right is your left, but you can just listen to my directions. I may also give you visual directions of arrows pointing. So there's many varieties that we can do with this specific task. Now, if I call out right, left, right, what we're going to do is step over the blue, that's right, tap, come to center, left, tap, come to center. So if I do right, left, right, it would look like this. So I did right, left, right. We could also make this a stream of directions. So I could say right, left, left, right, which would look like And again, as we're doing this, before you finish the first task, I would give you the second stream of numbers, which is working your attention and your memory. So this is one of the many ways we can use sequencing. Now, up next, I'd like to show you the 1, 2, 3 exercise. Now, if we're in person, we can do it where we're alternating, the group alternates with me, or I can pair you off, of course, safely distance apart, and then you work together, but I'll tell you what it looks like. And let me move the dots quickly. So number 1 would be a squat. And a proper squat, you've got your feet flat on the floor. You stick out your rear end as if you're going to lower yourself down into a chair, reaching your arms forward, putting your weight more towards your heels, and then come up. If you have trouble doing this, of course, only go as far as you can where it's safe and comfortable. The next one would be number 2, and that will be either you can do a jack, or you could do a modified jack, or you could have your feet apart and do another variation of a jack. Number 3, we're going to do a left-right punch or a right-left punch. It doesn't matter. So we're going to stand there and punch, stepping out with our right foot, and come in and punch, stepping out with our left foot. So it's going to be quick. So you want to punch, punch. Short, quick. We don't spend too long in these moves because I'm calling out the numbers 1, 2, 3. So for example, if we're doing it together, alternating, I'll start, I'm 1, you're 2, which means you do a jumping jack, and then I'm 3, punch, punch. Now you're 1, which would be a squat, I'm 2, which would be a jumping jack, and then you're 3, which will be a punch. And then we're back to the beginning. I squat, you jack, I punch. Now, I'm not telling you what to do during boot camp as far as squat, jack, lunge. What I'm telling you is 1, 2, 3. So 1 is squat, 2 is jack, 3 is punch. So let's try it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You see how that works? And then I will speed up the numbers. It'll get quicker. You'll have to pay more attention. And then sometimes I might say reverse in the middle of it. So if the last thing I've ended with is 3, and you hear me say reverse, now you've got to hit a squat as soon as I say reverse, because we're going to start with the other direction. So the other person is going to start with the number 1. So it can get very challenging. We can change up the moves. It doesn't always have to be squat, jack, punch. We can vary it. And even say, for example, we have somebody with limited physical ability. We'll give them 3 different moves. Then somebody that has a higher physical ability, we'll give them a more difficult set of moves to do. So we've gone over the clock, the calendar, we've done some sequencing, some balancing, and some 1, 2, 3 assigned moves. The last one I'm going to show you is called reaction time. And for this, you can march, okay? You can do quick feet. You could do high knees if you want. You could also do lunges. Alternating lunges is a possibility. So for today, I'm just going to do a march. Now, I would call out directions, and they would be something like this. If I said right upper, I would shoot out my right arm and pull it back in. So as you see, it's going up, and I'm pulling it back in, and it's got to be quick. So you don't want to just leave your arm out there and then slowly pull it back in. So if I say right upper, out and in. Left upper, out and in. Right lower, out and in. Left lower, out and in. Now, if you're doing a lunge, it would look something like this. So if I said right upper, left upper, right lower, left lower. So as you can see, there's variations. So let's just do one round. We'll start marching, make it quick, pump those arms. We want to get that blood flowing and that oxygen to your brain. Okay, ready? Right upper, left lower, left upper, right lower, left lower, right upper, left upper. I think I can pick up the pace. Right lower, left lower, left lower, right upper, left upper. All right, as you can see, as I was doing this, I needed to pick up the pace. The just stepping was a little bit too slow for me. So know yourself, know your body, know your physical ability, and know your physical limitations. But when we work these exercises, we work our brain, we work our body, we improve, I'm out of breath, which is great, our 4 cognitive domains of memory, processing speed, attention, and executive function. So I hope you enjoyed this mini class. I hope you join me soon, whether it's in person or whether we meet via Zoom. I look forward to meeting you soon and hope you enjoyed these exercises for today. Take care, everybody. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.